Alright, so I just looked at all 3 weather channels for Tumbler for where we're going. It says a minor risk of a thunderstorm in the more central Tumbler Ridge area overnight and a low of +3. But then Sunday is a high of 17, sun and cloud, and then Monday is a high of 19, sun and cloud. So far we're looking a lot better than we did earlier in the week.
We started the morning the way most good trips begin. Loading up supplies, checking gear, making sure we had everything we needed before leaving town behind. There wasn't much to it on camera, just the quiet part before the day really started. Once the trucks were packed and everyone was ready, we rolled out of Fort St. John and headed south through Taylor, easing into the drive as the road started pulling us away from home. From there, we turned onto the Mason Road and made our way toward Highway 52. Following the pavement as the country opened up around us. The further we went, the quieter it got. Town faded out behind us, the trees starting to take over. And eventually, we turned off onto the Forest Service Road. The kind of road where you never really know what's waiting around the next corner. It was calm out there. Dry, quiet, and dusty enough that every truck left a trail hanging behind it. Alex grabbed some scenic shots along the way, while the rest of us settled into the drive, trading a bit of banter over the radio and taking in the country around us. Before heading too far up the trail, we stopped to grab some firewood. With the chainsaw out, it didn't take long to make quick work of what we needed, and the boys were more than happy to jump in and help. Once the wood was loaded and the dust settled again, we carried on. The road kept climbing. The views started opening up, and before long, we made our way to Puggins Mountain Fire Lookout. After a couple hours on the road, getting out of the trucks felt pretty good. We stretched our legs, looked around, and for a minute, everyone just kind of stopped. The view did that on its own. There are some places that make you go quiet without trying. This was one of them. The mountains rolled out in the distance, trees stretched in every direction, and the sky felt bigger than it had any right to be. After taking it in from the ground, we made our way up the tower. Step by step, the trucks got smaller, the trees dropped lower, and the world started opening up around us. By the time we reached the top, it felt like everything had fallen away except the mountains, the clouds, the trees, and the wind. It was one of those views you can't really explain the same way it feels. You just stand there for a while, camera in hand, trying to capture something that's better in person. I took a few shots while we were up there, but mostly, we just took our time.
Well, boys, what do you think?
Let's set up camp in here.
In here? In here?
I'm joking. Light the fire
Good.
in the tower.
You better.
Puggins Mountain Fire Lookout sits high in the backcountry between the Peace region and the Tumbler Ridge area. One of those places built around a simple idea. Get high enough above the trees, and you can see the land change for miles. It was once part of a wider network of BC fire lookouts. Towers built to watch the forest, the weather, and the smoke lines that might mean fire somewhere in the distance. From the tower, the trucks feel small, the trees seem endless, and the whole landscape opens up in every direction. It's not just a viewpoint. It's a reminder of how much country is still out there. Eventually, we climbed back down and started setting up camp. The first job was finding the right spot. We moved the vehicles around a bit, trying to get everything lined up with the view, because out there, even camp setup felt like part of the experience. Once we had the trucks where we wanted them, the rest of camp started coming together. Tents, chairs, gear, firewood, all the little pieces that turn an empty spot in the woods into home for the next couple of nights. Eventually, the wood was split, camp was set, and the fire was lit. And that's when the whole place started to slow down. No traffic, no noise, no rush. Just the fire, the trees, the wind, and the kind of quiet you don't really notice until you've been away from it for too long. As the light faded, we settled in around the fire and let the night take over. The stars came out strong, clearer than they ever look in town. And for a while, there wasn't much to do except sit back and take it all in. After a cold night, morning came in slow. birds were already up, singing through the trees, and before long, Tucker rolled in to join us for the day. He came prepared too, bringing cornhole and some clays with him, which pretty much set the tone for the afternoon. Nothing too serious, just the boys taking turns, having some fun, and making the most of a quiet afternoon in the mountains. A few missed shots, a few good ones, and the kind of simple camp moments that end up being some of the best parts of the trip. Later on, we settled in for the second night. Made some pork loin ramen, put on some music, and kept the fire going as the temperature started to drop again. By morning, it was time to start wrapping things up. We made breakfast, looked out over the view one more time, and let ourselves sit with it for a bit before camp started coming down. The trucks got packed, the fire was out. Slowly, the little place we had built for the weekend turned back into open ground. Then, we headed back down the road, covered in dust, tired from the cold nights, and carrying the kind of quiet that only comes from a weekend outside. Some trips aren't about going far. They're about getting out long enough to remember what it feels like when life slows down. No service, no schedule, no noise. Just a road, a fire, a few good people, and a view that makes you want to come back before you've even left. Sometimes the best thing you can do is pack the truck, leave the noise behind, and go find a place that reminds you how big the world still is.